Flashback.
And we begin at 10 with breaking news. A Grammy Award nominee has just posted bail on criminal threat charges. Chris Brown is accused of assault and battery.
In February of 2009, the pop world was shocked when rising R&B superstar Chris Brown viciously and brutally assaulted his chances for a long-term career. Now, faced with these horrible acts, the pop gods wisely revoked his right to stardom. Shortly thereafter, he released his newest album, which was met with scathing reviews and produced only one minor hit, whose success was probably only attributable to the presence of the ever-popular Lil Wayne. And it sucked. Now, in the meantime, with Brown all but gone from the charts, a number of B-listers rushed in to try and fill the void, including Jay Sean, Trey Songz, Iyaz, Taio Cruz, and most unfortunately, that talentless little puke Jason Derulo. But why settle for a bunch of second-string washout Usher wannabes when you can have the original Usher wannabe? Now, all critics have their favorite whipping boys, and from the beginning, one of mine was Chris Brown. I love beating on Chris Brown just as much as Chris Brown likes beating eggs for his famous homestyle breakfast. And for what it's worth, I never liked Chris Brown to begin with, even before the assault charges. My initial impression of Chris Brown was something along the lines of a black Justin Bieber. He was 15, he sounded like he was 15, and he came on with way more swagger than he could actually back up. Now, over the course of the next 3 years, he went on an uninterrupted string of hit songs, about one of which was even remotely worth listening to. And then the arrest happened, and even as a non-fan, I shouldn't see that coming. I don't think anyone did. But believe it or not, it actually wasn't the assault itself that completely sunk my opinion of Chris Brown as a person. It was every simpering, stupid, cowardly, mumbly, evasive thing he said about it after the fact. Before then, I was willing to give him the benefit of a doubt as a very young person dealing with a lot of pressure in his life, and who obviously had some personal demons he needed to deal with. Afterwards, my opinion became that he was an unlikable, violent moron who had absolutely no understanding of what he actually did. And yet, nearly 2 years afterward, the public seems to be finally ready to let the exiled prince of R&B back into the kingdom. Although many predicted that his star would never shine again, since the arrest, Brown has worked steadily to try and find some measure of public forgiveness, most notably an emotional, tear-filled performance of Man in the Mirror at a BET Michael Jackson tribute. And with the chart success of his latest single, it seems that he may have at last achieved his goal of making the public absolve him of his transgressions. And while I'm sure many critics would argue that Brown's crime should prevent his career from ever recovering, believe it or not, I think even I can actually find some room in my heart to let him have his comeback. After all, bad people can still make good music, and whether or not he's genuinely repentant, he is at least clearly deeply regretful for what he did. So I'm officially declaring it time to move on. Now, I'm not saying I would let him date my sister anytime soon, but you know what? I think it's time we honor the fact that he's paid his debts and acknowledge his contributions to music without letting it be stained by, the incident. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the culmination of one man's quest for redemption. With his big comeback single, Deuces, here is the new, improved Chris Brown.
All that bullshit's for the birds. You ain't nothing but a vulture. Always hoping for the worst, waiting for me to fuck up. You'll regret the day when I find another girl, yeah. They know just what I need, she know just what I mean. When I tell her keep it drama free.
Go fuck yourself, Chris Brown! Go fuck yourself! Go fuck yourself, you stupid, useless waste of a human being! You can't be serious. This is what Chris Brown wants to sing about? Really? I mean, are girls giving you problems, Chris? Causing you so much drama? I'm crying. I am crying for you, Chris. I am weeping over here. My heart just bleeds for... hold on, let me put this on violin so I can properly express how sad I am for you. Let's all shed a big, giant tear for how bad people are to Chris Brown. I'm sorry, am I being a little harsh? Maybe I haven't properly shown what an ugly and mean-spirited song this is. Okay, well, in case you're not up on your youth slang, well, first of all, congratulations on making better life choices than I did. But you also need to know that deuces is slang for peace out, 2 fingers, deuces, bye, good to see ya. Yeah, for some reason this song is about some girl getting the deuces from Chris Brown and not Chris Brown getting the deuces from the world. But, that alone doesn't adequately describe how unattractive this song is.
I know you mad was a word. So I flipped that middle finger and the index finger follow.
Thought it was true love, but women lie.
You stay classy, guys. Okay, yes, I do realize that music is not here just to express pleasant sentiments, and yeah, there are worse things you can say to a girl. I mean, if Chris Brown gets angry at a girl so he dumps her and says mean things to her, well, you know what, for him, we could call that progress, I suppose. And you can probably find dozens, if not hundreds of songs in my own music collection that say much worse things about women. But those songs were made by people with talent and charisma, which Chris Brown doesn't and has never had. Look, I am nowhere close to believing that Chris Brown has been a victim of parasitic relationships and needs a chance to cry about his suffering. This is like listening to Cruella de Vil lamenting that animals don't seem to like her. Seriously, if you're Chris Brown, you do not get to make a song like this. If I Can Transform You was highly questionable, this is completely unforgivable. Chris Brown needs to release footage of himself beating himself with a monk flail for 3 straight months before he even thinks of releasing a song like this. I don't know what frame of mind the writer was when he wrote this, but I'm pretty sure he would have reconsidered if he knew it was going to be sung by the world's most famous domestic abuser. Who exactly did write this atrocity? Why am I even surprised? You know what? Even if I didn't know about the baggage of him and Rihanna, I still wouldn't want to associate myself with these assholes. Even within the song, they don't sound burdened by undeserved romantic stress, they just sound lazy.
I'm tired of trying. No more trying to make it work. I ain't gonna be the one that she can always run to.
Emotional support? Effort? What is this bullshit? That bullshit's for the birds, you vulture. Seriously, for the birds? Did you get your lyrics from a joke book from the 50s? And even if you do want to be happy that you dropped a bad relationship, there are classier ways to do it. In fact, there's a song on the radio right now that does it better.
I'm so sorry that it didn't work out. I'm solo, I'm riding solo, I'm riding solo, I'm riding solo.
Dude, what are you doing with your voice? When you're being outclassed by a no-talent like Jason Derulo, reconsider your artistic decisions. You know what the infuriating thing about pop music is? Even when it's expressing the most repugnant sentiments, you just can't get it out of your head because it's so irritatingly catchy, and despite how much you hate it, or even because of how much you hate it just sticks in your head, and you find yourself singing to yourself against your will, and you feel like you want to take a cheese grater to your brain to scrape it out. I was just kind of rambling to myself there, I guess. Anyway, let's get back to talking about this song, which isn't catchy in the slightest. I've heard jet engines make catchier music than this. If maddeningly addictive songs are supposed to be called earworms, this is like an ear snail. It's slow, it's gross, and it has absolutely no chance of getting in your ear. I'm not sure what I hate more about this song, its dismal beat, its dreary synths, or its dreadful attempt at a melody. Oh, and speaking as a professional silhouette, this is also a terrible freaking video. I mean, what in holy living hell does he think he's doing?
No more trying to make it work. No. Make me wanna say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to her. Deuces.
Oh, but I should mention the 2 other rappers who are also in this song. The first guy, Tyga, is a member of Lil Wayne's Young Money stable. I mostly know him from his verse on the bragging about sex song Bedrock, where he spent half of his verse talking about him and his girlfriend watching TV in separate rooms.
She watching that Oxygen, I'm watching ESPN.
Good job, Tyga, you dork. And there's also Kevin McCall. He's a nobody. Right away, this seems like a bad sign to me because the last time I heard a song from an R&B singer which featured both an up-and-coming rapper and an unknown without a stage name, it did not turn out well for me. But you know what, we'll give him a chance. After all, guest verses are oftentimes the saving grace of a mediocre or bad song. On his own, Ludacris has rescued more songs than Greenpeace has rescued beach whales. I mean, that's why you have guest verses, to compensate for the weaknesses of your main performer. So fellas, do your thing. What you got?
Used to be Valentine's.
Did he just say Valentine's?
Used to be Valentine's.
Valentine's! T-I-N!
It's like I sent my love with a text 2 times. Called cause I care, but I ain't getting no reply.
Yep, you heard right. He's angry because she didn't return his phone call right away. But she's the one causing drama. If I ever got mad at a girlfriend because she didn't answer her phone right away, I'd have gotten dropped so fast I'd have left cracks in the pavement. But you know what, Tyga, he's a famous rapper. He's got to keep up that gangsta image, neediness, insecurity.
So leave your keys on the kitchen counter and give me back that ruby ring with the big diamond.
Dude, if you can throw away diamond ruby rings on minor relationships, you don't need it back. Either that, or you've just learned a valuable lesson about wise spending habits. Oh, hold on, let me check my empty wallet, see if I have any sympathy for a guy who can buy ruby diamond rings. Nope, all tapped out.
I don't never feel like we vibing, cause every time we alone, it's an awkward silence.
Actually, yeah, that does suck. I mean, I think we've all been there, and it starts out good, and then it just fizzles out, and you just got nothing to say to each other, and there's no point in pretending when it's just not working anymore. It's no fun. It happens. You bitch! You bitch! You ruined my life! No! Oh!
My heart big, but it beat quiet.
I'm not sure Tyga really gets what this song is actually about. Between this and his verse on Bedrock, he may just be too nice for this. Maybe deep down he really doesn't want to be an asshole, he just wants to hang out and play video games and write love songs, but he has to try and keep up expectations. So if you fail to be a complete asshole, do you succeed? Well, let's compare to the other guy, Kevin McCall, who is 100% pure bag of dicks.
Look, my shawty always on some bullshit like Chicago.
Well, dude, I'm not a fan of Chicago either, but you're hardly one to judge. Actually, after about an hour of thinking about it, I realized that line was supposed to be some kind of reference to the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, this is the level of immaculately constructed wordplay we're going to be dealing with from this guy, so hold on, folks.
So I flip that middle finger and the index finger follow. Deuces, we ain't got no future in tomorrow. I'm a dick, so it shouldn't be that hard to swallow.
Get clean! So, in 2 lines, this guy has given the girl his middle finger, and now he's told her to suck his dick, basically. And he's back on the market, ladies! That's right, one lucky girl will be the next to scoop up this fine specimen of man. Bachelorette number 1. If a guy spent the entire first date complaining how his ex was a completely, totally crazy bitch, would you be turned on or extremely turned on?
The other chick I'm with never complaining. She make me wanna leave the one I'm with, Usher Raymond.
Is "you make me want to leave the one I'm with" such an amazing quote that you needed to cite your sources? What, did you find that in Bartlett's? Dude, seriously, don't drag Usher into this. Mr. Booty Like Pow 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 over here is still too good for this.
I finally noticed it. It finally hit me. Like Tina did Ike in the limo, it finally hit me. Like Tina did Ike in the limo, it finally hit me.
Hello? Hey, it's me, Chris Brown. Oh, hey, what up? Yeah, I heard the verse you did for the new song. Yeah, it was tight, right? You kind of mentioned Ike Turner in it. Huh? Could you take that part out? Because I really don't need people thinking about Ike Turner during my song. Like, I don't need to remind people of, you know, the thing. What thing? Are you serious? What? You know what? Never mind, Kevin. I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, talk to you later. Yeah, whole lot later, you girl big punk ass piece of shit. That is just about the only explanation I can think of how that line made it into the song. Do they just not care, or are they actually that stupid? The fact that it rhymes "hit me" with "hit me" would be bad enough, but it somehow mentions Ike and Tina, and it somehow implicitly sympathizes with Ike. I mean, Tina hit Ike? Poor Ike! I mean, I remember when I watched What's Love Got to Do with It, I went away thinking about all the times Tina hit Ike. Chucking up the deuces. This song makes me want to chuck up my lunch. Somebody remind me why the hell we need this guy around? Is he super talented? No. Is he a particularly distinct personality? No. Is he a thoughtful, insightful artist? No. Is he doing anything we couldn't get from someone else? No. For Christ's sakes, we kicked Ashley Simpson out of the pop star universe, and you remember what her crime was? Lip syncing. Lip syncing, for God's sakes. Why is this song even called Deuces? It should be called Douches because that's what everyone involved with this song is. All 3 of these guys are douchebags, and I could not possibly hate this song more than I already do. Go away, Chris Brown. Go away and never come back. Deuces.